So today we're looking at how to use Coach's Eye as a timing system for Timbersports. As most of you know, if you're watching this video, that Coach's Eye is a mobile app. It can be used on iPhone, iPad, or any other mobile device. And its purpose is to videotape athletics and then play it back at either full speed, slow motion, or frame by frame. So we're going to open up the app, Coach's Eye. And if we were going to film an event, we'd tap there, tap the camera, and then we would film from there by pressing that button. You'd first want to make sure that it was playing at 1080p 60 frames per second, which is adjustable right there. So once you film that, then you bring up whatever you just filmed and tap it, and you bring it up on camera, and then you're able to time the event. You film the event first, and then once it's filmed, you bring it up and you do the timing. So to do that, the first thing you have to do is know when to start the timing and when to end the timing. So the next thing we'll talk about is the equipment and the procedures you need to start timing any given event. To do accurate timing with Coach's Eye, you're going to need certain equipment. The first, obviously, is a camera phone or iPad that will run Coach's Eye, preferably at a high frame rate. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus can film at 60 frames per second, and right now they're the optimal thing to use. Although I expect a new iPad to come out by the end of the year with a similar frame rate, which will be even better. So the other equipment you need to get the accurate starts, we need a system that starts with a laptop computer with PowerPoint on it, and that PowerPoint is going to be two different programs, one set up for chainsaw starts and one set up for manual event starts. And so whichever one event you're going to run, that's the version of PowerPoint you'll have up at any given time. And so that will give you your starts. You hook the laptop via the headphone jack into a PA system, which also has a wireless microphone. And you hook the video portion into a larger screen or into a TV, 32 or 40-inch TV that has a VGA input that can be hooked to the computer. Once you have all these in place, it's a simple matter of playing the different starts that you need over the system.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
Given the introduction over the wireless microphone, as Rich does when he says timer's ready, and then he just clicks the button and it goes right to this next thing.
3, 2, 1, go!
So this would be for the springboard, the first event. You put this up, you do a test run, and then Rich says over the wireless mic, timer's ready. Then when the timer on the iPhone or iPad gives him the thumbs up, he just clicks.
Contestants ready.
And it immediately goes
3, 2,
into
1,
the start.
go!
You would do the same thing with the chainsaw start. You just need to have the correct program up. Do a test run first.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
And then every time after that you wanted to run a heat, Rich would just say, timers and contestants ready, 15 seconds to warm up your saw. And then when it's time, he would say, hands on the wood. Well, actually, he would just click this button.
Hands on the wood.
And the
Get
computer
set.
program would do all the rest. Now, included in this program are 5 different timed starts, ranging from half a second before the gun to a second and a half before the gun. These were randomly put up into 60 different slides so that you never know which one of those 5 starts with a full second range of difference in when the gun goes off. The previous program with the manual starts is the exact same count that he's been using, repeated 60 times, so that all he's got to do is keep pressing the button for each heat and he'll be ready to go. So that's how we're going to get our starts, and we'll demonstrate in the next segment how we're going to get the 0 on the clock for the timing. Okay, now let's talk about how we're going to time the events using the Coach's Eye app. Once we finish taping it on here, right there in this corner, there will be a little icon of the video that you just took. So we're going to tap that, and that'll be the first one that you see. I'm going to do an earlier one here. Tap that, tap where it says Analyze, and it brings it right up on the film, on the camera. So now with our new equipment, we're going to zoom in on the video screen, and then we're going to tap the camera icon, or the stopwatch icon, and then we're going to move forward through the video to find the start time. So we're going to nice thing up. I got all that 3, 2, 1, go there, so we know that between 1 and go is going to be the thing. We just frame by frame back to the go backwards and forwards. Clearly that's our first frame with a go. Tap the screen, that's our start time. It's that simple. Now watch that clock. If I back it up 1, that's the go on 0. 1/100th of a second before the 0, it's red. On the 0, it's go. 100th of a second after, it's still go. So you can see that our start is within 1/100th of a second of being accurate every single time. So there's your start. And it doesn't matter if it's the video for the manual events, or this is the one that we used for the chainsaw events. We're just going to zoom in on the camera, zoom in on the video screen, tap our stopwatch, find the go, red, red, green, back up, then go frame by frame. It still says get set. There it says go. We tap it. 0, 0, 0. If I back up 1 frame, 1/100th of a second before, it doesn't say go yet. On the 0 it says go. After the 0 it says go. Before the 0 it doesn't say go yet. So we have a 100% accurate way to get our starting point for every single heat, because the video monitor is synced using a video editing program with the audio signal. So exactly when the signal on the audio band rises for Rich to be saying go or for the gun to be going off, that's exactly when this go appears on the screen. So we're synced to right on the identical frame to within 1/100th of a second of having our go in the right time. And our starts are just that simple. Okay, so at this point we've filmed our event and we've gone to the review. We've found our start point as just described in the last segment, and now we need to find out what the actual time was for each of those competitors. To do that, we don't have to watch the entire event. We can scroll through and just find our times that way. What I have on the screen now is a semi-final round of the springboard from the Steel Timbersports this current year, and we have 4 competitors up here, and we're going to find out the time for all 4 as quick as we can here. I've set a 0 point. We didn't have the technology that I described earlier at this time, but so I just set a random, not a random 0 point, but close enough. And now we're going to find the end time for each guy. Now, as I said, like in a hot saw event, you're going to have a minute warm-up taped, all this. We don't have to go forward through all that even. Not only don't we have to watch it, I can go backwards through this and get to the end of the event. And so here we go. Here's on stand number 3, Chris Bradshaw was the last one done, and he was up close to a minute. We'll just find out the time that his block falls off. He was at 2 minutes. So his block is off. And that's the key thing you want to do. You want to get the block off the thing, then back up, and have his X come out, and then bring the X back in, because now you know this is the final blow of the X. So we look, and when we first see the block move right there, the block is moved, and we know that it doesn't hang because we watched it come off and back on. So this is his, if we had used the precise starting procedure we talked about earlier, this will be the precise time of his event, exactly as the top of the block moves. 2 minutes, 3.79 seconds. So now we don't have to do that for each guy, though. So now we can just go backwards and find the next guy. So stand 4 was the next guy. We're going to go forward and find his block coming off. Right there it's off, so we're going to back it up. Get the X out, then bring the X back in. Right there the block moved. And I can go forward and back frame by frame to the exact frame I feel like the block first moved. He's 2 minutes, 1 second, and 99 hundredths. And we can go the same thing for the previous competitors, all 4 of them. On stand 2 is next. He apparently finished a while ahead of those other 2 guys. There, he's not quite done yet. So we can find the time. Apparently a bad camera job here. Block is off. Alright, so the camera guy messed up on that one. But you can see that I can do each of the 4 guys individually that way. And the bad camera guy. So that's how you would find the time for the chopping events. You look for that final blow and the first movement of the block. You don't have to wait to be sure it's off. There's no lag time in the timing because you've seen the block fall off and you back up because you know that's the last hit. So that's the time that the time should stop. So it's easy to get a precise start time now, precise end time. We're going to have perfectly accurate timing. Thank you. So as we just demonstrated with the springboard, it's easy to find the proper start time and end time for each event. You can use the exact same procedure for all the events. In the sawing events, you want to film from head on to the end of the block, and you can see the disc start to drop. In Australia, they actually hang a little black and yellow cross-hatched card on the end of the block for the single buck so that they can see the exact time that starts to move. But I don't find that that's necessary. You're able to see on the coach's eye. You can zoom in to each competitor, just like we zoomed in on the video screen to find our start. You can then shift that perspective and zoom in on each competitor. On the sawing events, you find the exact time that the disc first drops. When you see log above the disc, that's the end time. He's done as soon as that drops. On the stock saw, it's when the second disc drops, or when you can actually see the chain coming up through the top of the block for the stock saw. That works great. Hot saw, you can see the third disc shift down. Single buck, you can see the third disc shift down. Nice thing with those events is if they go back for more cookies or if there's a little piece left, you're just scrolling to the end and you find when he's done sawing. Once he's done sawing, you back up and find that end point that matches him. For the chops, standing block and springboard, you want to look for that initial movement of the block. Sometimes the block will come off and hang, and then you have to wait. You have to keep timing until the block is actually completely severed. But if you see that it's fallen off cleanly, then the first movement is when it's completely severed. So that would be the stop time for those 2 events. The underhand, a lot of times you don't see a block movement. So what we're looking for in that event is you go forward in time until he's completely done, and then you back up and you find the last moment that the first moment that the last blow contacted the log. And that would be the time that the log is severed. So we can time all of our events with perfect accuracy using the coach's eye our new starting procedure and the existing finishing procedures, and we're going to have a great time doing it. We're going to have accuracy and fewer complaints by everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the system, and hopefully it's something we can use going into the future.